Welcome, everybody, to Simulation Talk 368. Hot cocoa is streaming through my veins. I'm unstoppable. How things change when you get older. How are you, everybody? I could have said hot chocolate. I said hot cocoa. Makes it extra good for many reasons. What up, Guru? How you doing, brother? What are you drinking tonight? You're the expert cozy drinks. Thank you so much for posting. Oh, and of course, let's start our... So first of all, let's put our website here. Of course, Guru put everything already up, but I got to put it on the screen, codeofreality.com. Why is it doing this? It's so crazy when it does this. Hey, Cookie. I'm going to start the chat on... Stage is open on Discord. Happy holidays, JPR. Maverick Star, how are you? Good to see you. Ellipsian is in the house. Kekovaniel. Stinky Bean. Nice. O2BS3. That's a good robot name. Lakota, how you doing, brother? I haven't seen you in forever. Josh Fenema. XX Migo, how you doing, brother? Okay, so we're in. How far is the doc? It's a matter of release. So we're working on distribution. We will have clear answers by mid-January. I'm guessing around April, but it would be determined by the exact details of distribution. But yeah, we're in the final stretch of the project. So the main thing is the distribution now and final eyes on the edit. I can tell you that the movie is phenomenal. Not because, obviously, because it's, it's about my work, but because what Aaron Vanden, the director, and Chris Paris, our producer, who both are editing on the film. Aaron, of course, is the lead editor, and Chris is also an incredible editor that is also editing on the film. They are absolute masters of their craft. I am actually kind of blown away by what they've done. Yeah, there will be a new teaser. Yes, it should be coming out soon. Should be dropping very, very soon. I promise. What up, Terry? How you doing, brother? The veil is thinning. Control shift looks eminent. How are you experiencing it, by the way? What up, Jess? Jules, how are you, brother? Trinity Sun. Saw the article today on CNN. Front page about the laser experiment. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to believe. I just saw somebody post it on Discord. Crazy. We're on CNN, man. It is crazy. How is the veil thinning for you, Terry? What up, Jet Black? How you doing, brother? Merry Christmas. Guru's in the house. There you go, Ambient Glass. Merry Christmas. Welcome to the live.
Hello.
How are you, brother? I'm doing great. Now even better now that you joined.
Yeah, I'm good. Here to keep you comfort.
I appreciate
video around here.
I appreciate your energy, brother. Yeah.
The documentary, I can't wait for it, man.
It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. What will be the first when we finally get a budget and we get to go do projects around the world? What's the first place you would like to go?
Oh, first place. That's a tough one.
Just throw one. What feels right?
First place I would like to go.
Jed Black, I'm glad you feel phenomenal.
I don't know. That's hard to pick.
All right, well, we'll just roll the we'll roll the dice. It was behind a paywall though, couldn't watch it. Yeah, it will be available for everybody within a certain period. They didn't tell me exactly when. I think by 2029 it'll be out. No, I'm kidding. It'll be within a week or two, I think. Maybe less. What up, Terry? Tash and I believe we are in the stream. Once you feel it completely, you cannot look back. Veil thinning, ceasefire in Gaza, Epstein, Candace, Trump, showdown, etc. I mean, it's definitely wild. Definitely wild. What up, Nico? How you doing, brother? Whatever happens, guys, if you want to take one advice from me, and I don't always lead by example, by the way. I want to be very clear. Because I'm doing my best, but I'm not always the best at it. But if you want to take my advice in general, try and keep your emotions down and lead with love. Stop suspecting everything. Stop hating things you've never interacted with. These will lead you to the wrong path. That I promise you.
Yes, sir.
Egypt, what, Jed Black? You're in Egypt right now?
I think that's the place you will pick.
Aha. Yeah, I'm very slow, as you can see. What is it called? The Petra, the big temple, the one with the giant sculptures. That looks amazing. I mean, obviously the pyramids, but go to the pyramids. Oh, so somebody's saying go to the pyramids, or maybe any high power ley line connection nodes. You mean for the laser? That would be interesting to do. Ambient Glass is saying, so I want to gift you the package I tried to from the start, and I can even gift the laser to someone. I tried to do this a while ago, and you wouldn't let me because you are too generous, bro. Okay. I'm confused. So what is the package? Well, how can I stop you from doing anything, Ambient Glass? I can't stop you from doing anything. Live to live, indeed, Terry. What up, kind of charming? That's why I would choose to visit Experiment. Yeah, that would be interesting. Josh is saying perhaps this is a simulation, purgatory, and we all passed on at some point. You know, I try to go by things that we can actually point to. There's a lot of maybes. There's an infinite number of maybes. So I don't go by maybe. I go by what is the most plausible thing. Nico is saying, but social media is exploiting the emotional response. Correct. I wonder sometimes. Yeah, I would say, go the more Buddhistic route. Just focus on the moment. What's in front of you. That's what the universe wants you to interact with. Heyo! I love Heyo because it always reminds me of Always Sunny. Heyo! Faithful being 10. Where's the other 9? How are you, Ethan? I do different laser experiments on ley line nodes around the world. What is ley line nodes? Can somebody educate me? Is that what it is? Is that what it means? Huh? Oh, got it. Okay. I'm not educated enough, so I don't know. You have to explain it to me. Tend to the part of the garden you can touch. That's a really good line. Who's that? Rumi? It's like Donald Duck. Welcome everybody to the chat. Now that there's more people, just remind everybody that if you want to follow us from Twitch, which is a channel we're trying to grow, please come and follow us on Twitch at LaserX83. LaserX83. Come follow us on Twitch. That'd be great. And reminding everybody that if you're asking a question, try your best to frame the question in terms of yourself, in terms of your human experience. What is it like to be you? Why do you care about this topic? What made you ask the question? Think about these things because that's really interesting. It's way more interesting than the question usually, even though some questions are kind of interesting. But that makes it even more interesting. Am I in New Jersey? No. Why? What's in New Jersey? Are you asking because of the experiments we've done with Falcon Space? The Twitch link, Guru, do we have it?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
It's in the chat? Okay. So we have it in the chat. And if you...
Right above the Are You in New Jersey?
There you go. Thank you, Guru. Did you just like predict? Oh, because I said it. And then Guru is our moderator, by the way, if nobody understands. So he's talking to us via Discord. Thank you, Jet Black. I appreciate you for following from Twitch. How did you do your...
5 different places.
I know. I mean, that's what the Buddha does, right? Jesus was in 2. The Buddha is in infinite number of places. That's great, Eden. I appreciate it. Have your phone. Oh man, that sucks. My daughter is upside down. It's very funny. How'd you do your Christmas? What'd you do for Christmas? What up, Nick? I'm asking you, Guru.
Oh, I just hang out with friends and family.
That's amazing.
And we watch movies. Got a few gifts. Someone gifted me the Buddha, the Buddha from China. That was nice of it. It's a nice bronze goldish statue.
So it's like the chubby Buddha, right?
Yeah, the chubby one.
The what?
Yeah, the chubby
one. Yeah. The what is it? Body positivity.
Yeah. That's great. It was a good gift. Statue of you. Nice. Yeah, I'll put it on the chat.
Yeah, put it on the chat. What are your beliefs? Are you an atheist, agnostic, or what is your religion worldview? Good question. I think at this point, I am whatever I can observe directly and makes the most sense to me in accordance with everything else that I know. In that regard, I don't really believe in God. I know for a fact there's a God because I've seen kind of like the picture that includes God. But I do not subscribe to any religion. Twitch link not working. Just go to Twitch and search for LaserX83. You see the oh, it's not up there, but LaserX83. Really simple. LaserX83. Just put it in the search on Twitch. I appreciate it. Pi C. Are you in talks with Sean Ryan? Not yet. No, I have not spoken to Sean Ryan, but I will be doing a really big podcast the beginning of January. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but it's going to be a fun one. I also wonder about mounting lasers on sunglass lenses and figuring out different ways of observing. That's awesome, Josh. Yeah, we do you know about veilbreak.ai? So veilbreak.ai allows you to see other people's experiments, and you can share your ideas there if you've done an experiment. You can even do it anonymously if you want. Why are you asking specifically about Sean Ryan, Nico? Thank you, Absentia Door. And thank you for putting the link, Guru. I appreciate you. He's so fast with this. It's amazing. 1 second. Grab one thing.
How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's having a wonderful day today.
What'd you say?
I wish the chat that they have a wonderful day today.
Oh, yeah. I hope so too. Okay, so let's see what topics exist here and what people want to talk about. Thank you, Jet Black. Oh, there you go. Even though, yeah, so Guru did post this, but I'll just repost it a third time, even though it's the same link. So hopefully it will work. What up, Ghost? Grow your garden. Again, I'm gonna remind you guys, if you guys want to come on and chat, just raise your hand. I don't want to force you. Oh, that's so cool, man. I love it. The Buddha.
Yeah.
That was cryptic. You can spoil the podcast. The what?
Hey, man, probably one of the best Christmas gifts I got.
Man, it's so nice. What up, Mama Mia? I just watched Sean Ryan and Hunter Biden. Were they both on meth? Donations over 10K get shout out on Rogan. just slide it on the down low. Also, my good friend, whomever donated the money. Yeah. I want to talk about what is this website for exactly. The veilbreak.ai? She did this? What? No. For real? Oh, that's amazing. The website is basically like a repo of the laser experiments. It's literally like GitHub for the laser experiments. If you know, GitHub is basically a repository of a bunch of codes that people share. It's open source for the public. And that's exactly the same thing, just for the laser experiment. So you can put the details of the laser experiment with as much details or as little details as you want. And yeah, that's basically what it's for. And the information always lives there. And there's an AI in the front end that has access to the back end, which means that you can ask the AI what kind of experiments were already done. So like you can say, hey, was this tried in this way, and that kind of stuff.
Good stuff. Veilbreak AI is very cool laser experiments. I tend to read from time to time.
Yeah, it's slowly accumulating. I appreciate you, brother.
I do recommend to try the laser experiments for everybody. Try.
Yeah, Guru. I didn't even, you know, that for the longest time, you probably mentioned it a few times, but it's just there's so much information. It's hard to follow what's what. I didn't even realize that you tried the laser experiment a long time ago, and that's why you joined the community.
Right.
Peace and love, ambient glass. That's the way.
Seeing is believing. I was like, no way.
I have an interesting idea for the experiment. I don't want to say. All right. Well, you can try it and then you can share it. Has anyone found anything that changes the code? So far, no. Great question. And if you have any ideas, always open for suggestions. But so far, nothing that we tried. Hopefully, something that we're planning to do this beginning of January will work. But again, at this point, I'm wiser. I'm not going to say anything until something actually pans out. It's been like 3 years or something. A long time with laser experiment. Are there any news or discoveries? There's a few things that are a little tentative. We learned that there's certain kinds of attention gestures that might do something, but it's too flimsy to report on. That's the short answer. So I'm now in the habit of only reporting things that are pretty solid, and this is not solid yet. Hopefully there will be something, but also the truth is that I think that no real breakthroughs will happen until we have like a daily routine in which we just hammer at it, which, you know, we're working on creating that environment, but it's going to be a little longer. I think by 2026, we will be able to start working on it full time, and then I think then results will start flowing. You will say to me in private. I appreciate it. That would be cool. The truth is that it's kind of hard to move forward with thinking about what to do because it requires a lot of dialing in and requires a lot of coordination that currently we simply don't have, or at least not on the right level.
Speaking of the project, the laser experiments,
What about?
we've been thinking about this quite a bit, and I'm interested in joining the team.
Oh man,
Not like right now, but like when I finish my paper and I have more free time, and then I'll start looking into what I can do with the COR.
brother, I'm always honored to say that we have a philosopher on staff on the team, so it'll be an absolute honor for you to join.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir. Y'all more than welcome.
Are you down to move to Colorado?
I've had that invitation from someone already, so maybe the universe is telling me something.
There you go. Also, I see that if you guys want to come on TikTok, I recommend you guys come on Discord. Go to the link tree in my description on TikTok. First link on the top. Join our Discord community and jump on stage because the audio is a lot better. And then you can come on and chat and just raise your hand to the stage and I'll bring you up. I'm glad to hear, William. Who is? Oh, Nico is raising his hand. How are you, brother?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Good, good. How was your Christmas? Oh, right. We talked about it. You just worked. Boo.
Yeah, man. It's not sexy, dude. It's boring. You're just decaying on a computer terminal all day.
Well, you can wear stockings and do science, and then it's sexy.
I want to pitch something to you. So when people say, what does the code mean? Or how do you manipulate the code? Can we call that the Copenhagen interpretation of the code? And can we then say the Everetting interpretation of the code or the many worlds is, what does the code mean to you? Like, what if you focus in that moment very intently on what you're channeling or what you're feeling?
Okay.
And that could be a piece of the puzzle instead of a, like, how do you compile this character list?
And do you think this will get us somewhere?
I think it's the only, you mentioned that we throw out consciousness. I think it's the only instrument we have when it comes to the code. I think trying to quickly write it down or build larger magnets, that feels very much so like you're throwing out the observer. Do you know what I mean? I think there might be like a interesting meditative state that you could try to channel something or just, just in that moment. Like I imagine the one thing that I've heard consistently from everyone is once you see it, you realize that you have more questions than when you went into it. But if you really relinquish attachments to questions or answers and more just kind of like, I wonder if meditation with the code is kind of an interesting channel to explore.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think being focused on a particular modality can be very interesting. I think that it's worth a shot, but it still has to be done in a framework, I feel like otherwise we're just kind of scattering, literally. But I think it's a good idea overall. I just feel like we still need to have consensus. But then again, asking people from the most neutral, it's just that the thing there is that you can kind of tell when somebody's frame is too much in the way. You know what I'm talking about? Like when sometimes people just insist of interpreting everything through their lens, they're not as free floating in their ability to kind of stay neutral. Like everything is what they think it is. Does that make sense? And that's hard.
it's
That's
very
hard to
easy
override.
project your lens onto it. And the materialist perspective is nice because it's objective and it's universal, but
Well, it assumes there's a consensus. Let's just say it assumes there's a consensus for whatever our perception is. And I think there's a middle ground to be played with over there. Of course, we have our own exact perception, but I feel like coming to terms with the fact that there's some average of all of that, and that's the thing that we want to get at, to me seems to be more fruitful. But I do like the idea because I do think that there is something about our modality that will be revealed. Like, for example, I do think that the second we figure out why some people are having a hard time with it in the beginning, it will tell, like, when we will find out what exactly is that, it will tell us something very fundamental about perception as a whole. I think there's a hint there as to why some people just see it. Yeah. Because I tried to correct for it. So I tried to create so many different Venn diagrams and like figure out like what is the common denominator between all the people that are having a hard time. For the life of me, I can't find it. It's not age, it's not IQ, it's not openness, it's not spiritual level, it's not sex, it's not we said age. It's just
do you know that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like pointing at the TV? He like sees something on TV and he points to it. He
Yeah,
gets out
yeah.
of his chair to point at it.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has that reaction, and I had that reaction when I was, on the on kind of psilocybin. Whenever I had that reaction, it disappeared. Every like this moment where I'm like, oh, that's it. That's the meaning of it. That's the quantum mechanical thing, and then it disappears. And I feel like one thing that I've been trying to grapple with is like to not do that Leonardo DiCaprio meme, but to just observe and kind of like take it in, right?
Can you? Well, before you continue, first of all, who's Leonardo DiCaprio?
He's Terrence McKenna's grandson.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, but what are you
Wait, what?
This is great. No, this is a game me and Nico play when we talk about really famous people and then we pretend we have no idea who they are. You fell for it, bro. You fell for it. But what do you mean specifically about that meme? Like, I know the meme, but what is this?
The meme. I feel like is everyone has, like this.
Like an aha moment?
Astonishment, right? Like, I feel like some phenomenon will induce this like moment of like, yes, look at that. That is like, it's a very like the phenomenon itself is very captivating and it's its own spectacle in its own right? But I think there is something that comes with experience, what I've been trying to work on. I by no means can do this, but there is this moment, and maybe this is more of like a Buddhist principle of like not getting into that astonishment and just kind of like trying to channel, kind of continue to exist in that moment and appreciate the state that you're in. And I imagine like whenever I've had meaningful insights, whenever my thinking brain turns on, it all just disappears. It collapses the entire experience and it just becomes more of like a semantic kind of hallucination. But whenever I've been able to like let go of that and just kind of feel and kind of have like different parts of my body and brain and heart kind of connected, I feel like I've been able to channel peace and catharsis and like, what I mean, like the experience of these states.
Well, the truth is that the code doesn't appear so much as a hallucination. Like, it just appears as like a matter of fact thing. That's the big difference. Guru can speak to this because Guru is clearly very connected spiritually, but like maybe he can speak a little bit about his experience of it, because my experience of it is that it's just kind of like there, like a matter of fact. It's not really like it's not like a modality of observation kind of thing. Would that be your experience, Guru, or no?
Yeah.
There you go. There you have it, folks.
Well, yeah, I understand what Nick is saying, because like I've experienced that while meditating. I'm just not sure exactly how it would translate to looking at the code.
Yeah, I think that you need to see the code to see that this doesn't seem to apply to it. It's not that kind of a thing. Like it truly isn't. Like it's just and it sounds so loaded because it's like, what do you mean? Like you got to see it. The second you'll see, I promise you, the second you see it, you go, oh, okay, okay, I get it. Like it's not like that. It's not like that. It's
Well,
not like.
I think actually Nico might have been saying that like that might be a barrier that some people have to overcome to see the code. Maybe.
But I
Is
don't.
that what you're saying?
I think it's what it is. What you were saying.
That's a really interesting thought. I wasn't going there. But I think Danny's right. Like I definitely feel like I need to see it to. But what I was
It's
thinking more of is
Nico. Do you see YouTube right now?
I'm not on my computer, but I could open up YouTube.
No, it's okay. You don't see me on video, right?
No.
Okay. Well, it's literally like, where are you right now?
I'm at my parents' house.
Do you have any object next to you? A utensil, like anything?
Yes.
Okay, hold it in front of you. I know it sounds like I'm like you. I know you know what I want to do, but like I want you to still do it. Hold the object in front of you.
Okay.
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 Do you think that changing what you just described would change what the object is for your perception?
No.
This is what the code looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally like that. Yeah. So it looks like an object.
If it were to, if this was, so I'm looking at an object that I'm very familiar with right now.
Is it a dildo?
But if I were holding an object that I would never have seen before, I feel like there is this moment of like astonishment that where I would be like, what the hell is this? And I would rotate it and look at it, right?
But it's how the object appears.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying now.
Okay.
To use an example of like me meditating and encountering this is like I've been like, deep in meditation, and like I'm at that point where I'm pushing the boundary, and whatever is happening is like crazy, and I'm like, I get excited. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And I'm like looking closely. I'm like trying to dissect what exactly is happening, and then I realize I'm giving in to the astonishment, and I'm sort of like becoming distracted, and that's sort of like scattering my focus. And so in those deep meditative states, you have to just sort of like relax, become a detached observer, just let your awareness just take it in. And that way you get to sort of like go into those deeper levels, and that enables you to sort of like have more access to those deeper insights.
When you guys see the code, when you see the code, you come back and tell me if any of this applies. I'll make it simple. It's like to me, you're barking up the wrong tree. It's just like not that kind of a thing. So today I was sitting. It's kind of funny. It's like a similar example to me. Hope it's not gonna hit anybody as too esoteric because it's like a very specific example. But like we were sitting and eating today, and our dog, one of the dogs, the husky, whenever she needs to go poop, she would walk around the window where there's these kind of like hanging shades, and she would like go purposefully across them to make a noise. Like she would graze against them, so it would go like everybody would hear her. Like she wants attention. She wants to go outside potty, right? I personally have never seen her do it for any other reason but that one. Okay. But also, like, it was just about the whole experience of it, like the way she was doing it. It was so clear to me because everything kind of aligned. She just did that. I was like, because I just took her, and I was like, so it was weird. She would be doing it because she just went, but then she did it again. Well, I guess she has to go again. And I was like, okay, well, I guess she wants to go poop. And everybody at the table, I don't know why, started guessing all of these things. It's like, no, I think maybe she wants water or eat or food or this. And I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, she just wants to go poop. And then like, no. And they're guessing all of these things. This is what it feels like to me. And then sure enough, she just wanted to go poop. I was like, it's just, sometimes it's the obvious thing. You don't need to go far. So if I have to guess, like I said, what is it that makes some people not see it right away, but it takes them some time? I think it has something to do with a very technical ability that some people are naturally already predisposed to do, and they don't know they're doing it because we don't know that there's even that difference between how people perceive things. So, like, I think that on the software level of perception, visual perception, and just conceptual perception, there's like the way you cast the world, the way you cast attention at the world has angles of a continuum that we don't quite understand. I think that's what it is. I think it's an angle and magnification ability. So magnification because it feels very much like you're all of a sudden zooming in. Like a lot of people describe this. And actually the thing that when Carter couldn't see it in the beginning, when we just met, he couldn't see it. And then I told him, just zoom in with your attention. Kind of go like as if you're a microscope and you're just like zooming in. And he did that and all of a sudden he saw it. So it's almost like there's an ability that the molecule gives you to look deeper into the light somehow. I don't know what that is, but it's almost like it allows you more frames per second or more resolution or more something. Like it allows you to go whoop, like in. But there's also a sense of rotation of some sort. And I think that some people are naturally doing that. That's how they're casting their attention. But then other people don't. It's almost like angle of perception, not just visually, but like the whole thing, the whole gestalt. Like it's just a particular angle of perception. And I think that's what it is. Now, is it exactly that? I don't know. But like, I think it's more something like that, way more likely than some, some readiness or like it just feels too like when it shows you when you see what it is, I think that the reason that people are so surprised is exactly because what we're used to in psychedelic and spiritual space is that when we see extra content, it has this esoteric self-interpretation level where to each his own. It's like it's going to present itself to me differently than it's going to present to you. It's all true, but it presents itself to you in the way that you're ready to see, and all of these things that we say all the time. Do we know it's true right away? No, we don't. We don't know any of this. We just kind of pay lip service to it. But it feels that way, so we say it. But when you see the code, it kind of shakes all of that out because it goes, oh, it's just what it is. Like it's not up for your interpretation. It's not up for your interpretation. There might be portions of it that you might like forcefully reinterpret because it lends itself to, how in when like simple networks that try to identify a number or a letter, right? Let's say you have a number that can kind of look like a 7 or a 2, depending on exactly how wiggly it is or how squiggly it is, right? So when the deep network is trying to guess, the thing that you're trying to correct with the weights is to like make it collapse into the right thing versus the wrong thing. But let's say it kind of teeters between two things, 7 and a 2, right? So if something in the characters that you see is kind of like that it can kind of lend itself to different interpretations, even in a regular space. So the way you would write a 7 or a 2 might not be clear if it's a 7 or a 2, even to a person. Then you would interpret it in the way that you kind of subjectively would choose to see it. But the thing is the thing. Like it's not the kind of thing that just ultimately allows you to interpret it however you want. It is like holding a regular object. That's why I'm telling you, it shatters everything that you thought was possible, because everything we thought in that space of being possible was based on, I'm claiming, on a false assumption. It is not subjective and for anybody to interpret however they want. It is not like that. That's not what the system is. We think that because it's the current fashion. I think that's wrong. I think the thing is the thing. Now, there's a lot more room for interpretation than we previously thought, but it is not infinitely whatever. Like it's what it is. It is very much on its own side, and it's very much doing its own thing. In the current trajectory we're on with our kind of cultural thought, this is an uncomfortable thought because we kind of like, we like this idea that it's all up to us. You wanted to say something, Nico?
Well, no, I mean, like, the reason why I brought this up is because in your Substack article, you kind of criticize science for throwing out consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately was like, well, the reason why we throw out consciousness because there's too many degrees of freedom, and as you pointed out a few moments ago, there's just so much interpretation that people can project onto it that it's just not reliable, right? It's like a trip report or something.
No,
I said
sometimes.
How do
Sometimes,
you
yeah.
use consciousness as an instrument, as a scientific instrument, right? How do you like? And the only science that I know of consciousness is meditation, right? Is this at least even in terms of like because there's no handles to consciousness, it feels like meditation at least is this ability to like let the turbulence of thought kind of emerge, right? Observe it, and then if you do that long enough, it kind of settles, right? And the settling of that is kind of pleasant and awesome. But I don't know so that's where that train of thought came from.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think there are modalities. The short answer to your question, to your comment, I would say is, if we figure out what it is, we can prepare each person's consciousness better to see it, and within it, we can maybe teach and or show people certain kind of modalities that are better for the observation, and then we know that we will get a more reliable data because we know we prepped them to see it in a more correct way, quote unquote. Then I would say yes, that's how we would use it as um, a scientific tool. Also, there's a lot of comments here. So Stalin say, do you believe psychedelic substances make people smarter and healthier? Not directly, no. I think they open channels that allow you to reshape yourself to become maybe even smarter, but definitely you can become psychologically and physically healthier. But it's not like it's doing it. It allows you to do it with greater ease, I think. Good evening, random. Very opinionated. You seem very opinionated to someone, Stalin. What is your thoughts on all this? Hope all is well. Tired but doing well. Freedom is saying I relax a little here, and if I come up with a good question, I write it down. Namaste to you as well. I've tried looking at the code under a magnifying lens in the hope to see it larger, but I think the characters stayed tiny. So the magnifying lens has no effect on the code and explanation. Well, my experience is that it does. I think is if you're placing it right in front of the wall, that's you're too far away from the light. So now I know that if it's in the wall, it should magnify it here. You might be at just the wrong distance, because my experience was that when you put a magnifying lens, you actually see it larger. But I think the decisive answer to this would come if we actually look through a microscope. I'm actually trying to figure out ways to do this. That's a really good question. Wonder if it's about being on the right frequency, so to speak, like tuning into a radio station. There might be something like that for sure. But life changing. It's just that people move from not seeing it to seeing it, and then when you ask them what changed, they have no idea. Every time, if somebody has a hard time when they finally see it, when you ask them what changed, they don't know. It's just now they can see it. Gold enhanced the red laser by like 80%. That gold seen in the body. Yeah, it can be seen on the human body as well. The walls still breathe. We're seeing the code clearly. The feeling that the surfaces kind of move is there, and the code is still clear. Yes. Oh, shine the laser on a piece of gold. Yeah, that would be interesting. I personally don't think it's going to be any difference, but it's definitely worth a shot. This looks like he shits upside down. Let's a poop roll down. What? I don't even know what that means. Qualities could be manipulated. Yep. I'm trying to go through you guys' comments as fast as I can. Yeah, it takes a little bit more hard. A little bit more hard. I'm good. That is correct. I find that to see the code on my hand is a bit harder. It takes a bit more time compared to on the wall. It's easy and fast. Yes, but that's because you're probably you're trying to look through. The upper layers are blocking a lot more light. They swallow a lot more light. Wait, Stan saying, I lived 2 years with a Bufo alvarius toad that produced 5 MEO. Is that how you call your roommate? I have no idea how to actually milk her to try the experiment. Wait, isn't your roommate? Tried to Google it, but never get an answer. I don't know that either. I don't know to milk her.
You have some understanding of chemistry, how to actually make chemicals and all that.
No, actually, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward, but there's an episode of Hamilton Morris's show called Pharmacopoeia where he shows the original method, and I believe they also show the refined method.
Oh, well, there you go. You have the answer. Consciousness is an angle of approach, and when it comes from coherence, it can use coherent light. Interesting thought. I like it. I agree with you. You're in a space of objectivity. Exercising subjectivity awareness is key. Yes. Josh is saying it's very small. Psychedelics help focus and expand visual perception. It might be as simple as that, honestly. It's a flashlight of coherent light to see the substrate. That's what it feels like. I would agree with that. Would you suppose that this discovery supports consciousness in non-local and many worlds theory? Definitely. But it's not directly from it. I think it arises from a lot of things. Okay. Kind of charming asking, can you ask them if they know how to see those stereograms? Seeing stereograms can help, but I think it's a little misleading. I don't think they're necessarily related. Some people that cannot see stereograms for sure can see the code. So it's not, it doesn't have direct correlation. There's a lot of people that no matter how many times I tried to show them, they couldn't see them, and it sounds like what's being seen has some depth beyond the flat surface in the same way. Yes, but I think it's more than that. I think there's a gesture of perception they're not doing, because I'm telling you, when people like, I wish I would know what it is, man. It drives me crazy. And also what's funny is that, well, I guess it's that's how it works in statistics. When I just started doing this, I have not encountered an issue with people for a long time. For like almost 100 people that I don't remember one person that had like a really hard time. There was one that took him like 2 hours. That was like a while, but then everybody else kind of like saw it pretty quickly. And now, well, I guess again, it's all about numbers, right? All of a sudden now that a lot of people are trying it, there's more and more people that are having a hard time in the beginning. But again, like I'm saying, there's something there that is more than just being able to it's something we do. Like it's something we do. It's like when I see the code clear, it's like when I do the whole diffusion convergence on a different point. Like I'm casting my attention to a different depth, so to speak. Can you try other optical illusion tests? Sound like it's just simply something beyond visual thing. It's believe me, man. I thought of so many things. It's so not forthcoming. Like it's so hard to crack this one. Definitely feels like my whole body gets dialed into and the fact that you can see it across substances, and on 5-MeO you can see it clearer, which is weird. It's so weird. Why would that be the case? 5-MeO for a lot of people is not even visual, and it's just so like completely different. It even binds slightly differently. So why would it show you the code? Like it just it almost feels like the code is like an anchor. gets dialed into the correct frequency in order for this to happen. I can feel my whole body tune in, and then the code just appears. How many times have you done it, DJ? That's really interesting. I love watching you in interviews, Dan. You make my brain do gymnastics. Well, I appreciate that. I'll take it as a compliment. I heard something about gold making the read more visible, 80% or more. Wait, somebody tried this already? If you have, can you please put it in veilbreak.ai? Have I tried reflecting the code in the mirror? And then look at the wall? Yes. You're not going to see anything in the mirror because it's just all of the laser is going to bounce back into your eye, which is I do not recommend. And I'm saying this is a joke, as in don't do it. But if you're looking at the wall, it's the same thing. Need you and Jesse Michaels. Me and Jesse spoke actually. I think he's just very focused on aliens. When you talk about the chain of events that led you to the laser experiment, it reminds me of my whole life. That's cool. Your life must be really interesting. It is my roommate Toad. That's really funny. Since we're talking about the Toad, do you see a connection with the 5-MeO, DMT, Toad, and the frog dude? Honestly, no, I never thought about that. And also, he was not exactly a frog. He was like a lizard frog person. And I do not believe in gatekeepers. I see where they use gold and space to enhance the infrared. Okay. Have you ever seen any other colors besides the color of the laser you can using? Other people say they do. I personally haven't, but something tells me that that actually is an illusion. But I don't know for sure. Gold reflects the infrared light a lot better, so you might be able to see even more with that. That's why I was saying try the gold. Is that true, Nico?
I don't know, but it sounds cool.
Just go to the fourth Knox.
Good luck.
Fort Knox is empty, Danny.
It's the fourth Knox and the 16th chapel. Did I get it right? 5-MeO is more effective for experiment. Yes, it looks like an 8K version of itself. It's crazy. Thank you for that, GDE. Have you tried it, by the way? I wonder if simulation is the right term. It tracks, but I still feel like it's off slightly. Best I can articulate what I'm thinking of construct versus simulation. Sure, I think they're completely interchangeable in this regard. The word is just to kind of denote the computational nature of it more than anything else, and the fact that it's one portion of a much larger operational space. In that regard, from the total, so if you think of a physical world within which you simulate environments, then all of a sudden the word simulation kind of starts feeling like it always has to be a version of or a fake thing, fake version of. But if you assume that the world at bottom is computational, then all possible renderings inside of it, they are simulations. So like because you can simulate, you basically simulate whatever it is that you choose. You can have initial conditions simulated. You can simulate a goal. You can simulate an agency. It's almost like the thing you instantiate in the system, and you see what arises from it if you run it, right? So that's how I view the word simulation. Just had a thought if you could reflect the code into.
And just say that this is like a very big misunderstanding that people have about what the simulation hypothesis is. Because we've seen the Matrix, and this idea is like very popular that like reality could be generated by a computer, and so that's like what people think simulation hypothesis is.
Mm-hmm.
But the simulation nature of it just refers to the fundamental behavior of reality at that the most fundamental scale. Like, how does it come together? And we call it a simulation because, just as you said, we're referring to the computational nature, or as I might say, the emergent nature of it.
I second that. And after repeating this again and again, I think the simpler way that I found to say it is the one philosophically, well, there's quite a few. There's like a few philosophical non-starters or dead ends in the movie The Matrix, but some of them are forgivable because without it, the movie will simply never be made. I've actually heard a rumor recently. So one of them is that it would make no sense to use humans for energy because there's so many better ways to produce way more energy, without all this trouble. But I don't know if it's true. I heard a rumor that originally they were thinking about doing it about RAM, like using the human brain for computation. But back then in 99, not enough people knew what that would means. So the movie wouldn't make any sense for most people. So they figured we'll just say energy and that would make more sense to more people. That's one. The second one, which is a complete non-starter in the movie, the whole idea that you have to be in the real world, quote unquote, versus any other experience. Why? Whatever it is that you believe reality is, if you, from the moment you're born to the moment you become unalived, if you just live a life and that experience for you is as real for you as it ever will be, what is the difference? There's zero difference. So this is like it doesn't matter. So the point is, if there's, well, let's address this in a moment. But the tying of my point is that, were you saying it does or it doesn't?
Well, when I was 11, I came up with a paradox after watching The Matrix, but I don't know if it's appropriate for the stream though.
Well, let's no. I want to explore this, but just the final words on in this thought is basically the simplest way for me to say it is, as long as there's a conscious agent involved, that's real. That's reality. It doesn't really matter how it came about. If you want to think about it the other way around, you can say, even if you thought you were just the product of the laws of physics, you can easily say you are computed, you are rendered by the laws of physics. Does that make it not real? Because there's more fundamental forces at play? No, it's like your experience is your experience. Go ahead, brother. Just if there are trigger words, then maybe think about how to frame them. But no, everything is kosher for this live. Just think about how to.
I don't know how to say it.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is
maybe,
it?
Maybe in the members only.
Is it about your experience in West Hollywood?
Yeah, kind of actually. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, we'll do it in the. There's something to expect from the members live on Sunday. But your position is that it does matter.
Yeah, I think it does. But I mean, this is my 11-year-old brain thinking of it, but I haven't been able to disprove it since. So
no, it's not about disproving. It's about what makes sense. There's no way you can say it in a neutral way. Like you can't generalize the case.
Well, it's called the skullfuck paradox.
That's already a great start. Gary's like, okay, I'm listening.
I should write a Substack and title it the skullfuck paradox.
KD, I see that you're trying to come on. Come to Discord. The audio will be a lot better because people will not really hear you from TikTok because it's like a separate device. So come on Discord. Click on the link on the top of my link tree in my profile on TikTok. Join Discord. Come on stage right now. This is where people are talking from, and join from there. It'll be a lot better. I promise. Okay, so something to expect. I'm excited.
All right, maybe earmuffs. How about this? If anyone is uncomfortable with this, give me 30 seconds of earmuffs, and then
No, it's not that. I don't want them to block the stream on TikTok. I don't care about anything else. It's just that I don't want them to block the stream from TikTok. So that's why. So like if you don't, so what you're a scientist, bro. Can't you generalize the case?
Use some very scientific, very professional jargon.
It is is that a technical term?
Yeah, let me Let me generalize it and find the Latin roots for all these words. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Okay, great. I do find it super interesting humans being obsessed with gold forever when it really is not that useful of a metal until very lately, beyond just pretty. I do find it pretty cool. I saw this guy who's selling gold on somewhere, I don't remember where. And I have to be honest, that is the best sales pitch I've ever heard, because I even know this, but I didn't really connect that for some reason. He basically said, I mean, obviously it's a sales pitch, but it's the best sales pitch I've ever heard. He basically said, look, when you're giving someone gold, you're essentially giving them what, because gold can only be made in heavy stars that explode. So it's not made on Earth. So if you're wearing a gold ring, you are 100% guaranteed to be wearing the guts of some exploded star or a combination of some. I was like, that's pretty badass. That's pretty badass. That's a really good sales pitch.
Interesting.
Was he?
Gold is special from a quantum mechanical point of view because it's the atom size, the nucleus size, where non-relativistic like effects play a role with the electron interaction.
Can you be more specific? Or actually, can you be a little simpler for us simple-minded people?
We can't explain the properties after gold of electrons and atoms unless we incorporate non-relativistic effects, meaning that the actual speeds of the electron in that nucleus approach the speed of light.
And electrons are supposed to be moving at what?
Well, I don't know what speeds they're moving at normally, but apparently in order to solve the orbitals, you need to have non-relativistic energies involved. So I
Interesting.
don't know exactly what speeds they're going, but apparently gold is special from a quantum mechanics point of view.
But more than 100 miles per hour?
Oh yeah, like
No.
like many more.
Wait, Kinda Charming is saying, ask ChatGPT to explain it like I am 5 exploding star thing. I don't know if you were joking or not, but if you're not joking, just in case, it's very simple. Stars sustain themselves by burning different elements. The heavier the element, the harder it is to fuse, because it's doing fusion for all the materials. And then eventually, when it runs out of particular lighter elements, it goes to heavier elements with more electrons. Gold is pretty up there. The heavier the metal or the element, the bigger the star has to be, because it needs more of that ability. Like there's more pressure that required to do this. Usually, most stars, well, I don't know if it's most, but medium-sized stars like ours, the most they can burn is basically iron. I think that's the most. Nico can correct me if I'm wrong, but gold is really up there. So basically, it had to be a pretty large star that burned beyond iron, beyond like whatever elements come after, and then it gets to gold. And usually, even some of these elements are not really created until the last moment of the life of the star, because in the last moment of the life of the star, unless it collapses into a black hole, it actually goes through an enormous pressure cooker that didn't exist in its own lifetime. And then the heaviest elements are created in that last instance, because all the pressure from the outside becomes so crazy that it basically just like, cooks all of these elements to heavier and heavier elements. And then eventually the core can no longer take it and the star can no longer burn it because it's just not big enough. And then the inside pressure just pushes against everything outside, and that's a supernova. It's like the biggest explosion you can imagine. It's just like boom, like everything is out, and it creates these beautiful nebulas. And these nebulas now contain these elements. These nebulas later, they kind of diffuse, and then if they're still like enough of a thing all by itself, it then portions of it, regions of it that has enough of the gas in one place, recollapses and makes another star, and it ignites again. And then around it, the way that star systems are formed is that all the gas that didn't fall into the middle to become a star forms the particles around that then coalesce and then creates planets around the star. And then there's this very long period in which all of these elements on the star disk, they basically kind of bump into each other. Some of it falls into the star, some of it's flown back into space, and all the things that remain at the end of this enormous battle for many, many millions of years is what you see as a solar system. So whatever rocky planets sort of become a thing, they will undoubtedly contain some of the things in that cloud that created the star. So if you're born on one of these planets, you will find gold that was not made on that planet. It was made in the previous star that exploded somewhere. That's how it works.
So this is, yeah, that's 100% right. And ChatGPT says gold is a poster child for relativistic quantum chemistry. If relativity did not exist, gold would not be possible. Also, gold is very chemically stable too, and which is kind of a weird thing because it's the electrons in orbital are they're very happy, so that you can't react with it. So like that's super weird. You can usually react to a lot of things. I mean, you can dissolve gold, but I mean, it's pretty special. I don't know who said it wasn't special. It's pretty crazy.
Also, kind of charming saying he knew the light thing. Well, I'm glad we explained it to people who didn't know, so I'm glad you liked it. You knew it. He said he meant asking the explain the skullfuck thing, ChatGPT, to explain it to you like a 5-year-old. I knew the exploring star thing, but I totally think there's something special about gold in human history. I mean, we like it. We like shiny things. We like crows. Matter how many times I tried it. What's he? I love the go on, the Jon Stewart go on meme. It's great. You really got people intrigued here. This is great.
Let's just call it can we just make up a word for it and then you insert blank?
Yeah, but like, of course you can use a different word for it. But like, I'm actually I really can't wait to know what it is for mostly to see why you had such a hard time generalizing the case. Like, if you have a strong argument, like,
please don't give me too much credit. I'm just, I have the mind of like an 11-year-old still because I still haven't been able to disprove it. Let's just call it a dental cleaning.
Okay, dental cleaning, yeah.
So
people who will join the live now, they're like, what are you doing?
Me and my 11-year-old friends are hanging around the playground and we saw The Matrix and we're talking about it and we asked ourselves, would you go into the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you just like,
be Cypher,
happily live in the Matrix?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, hell yeah, of course. And then I said no, and everyone's like, why? And I said, because how do you know you're not getting a dental cleaning in like outside the Matrix? How do you know that's not happening while you're just like in this chair,
Wait, are you serious?
They asked,
okay.
Why would that be happening, right? Like,
yeah.
But
no, that's just the wrong question. No, that's just the wrong question at that fork. Why does it matter? You don't know about it.
So you wouldn't care if you're getting dental cleaned?
That's not you. That's not you. That's a shell that you're not aware of. That's not you. You is only your awareness. That's the answer to your conundrum. You are only your awareness. Whatever it is. I mean, even forget about the dental cleaning. The state that people are in the Matrix, that's not exactly optimal state. They're just like, be there, But like, you have an experience. Who cares how it comes about? That's the answer. Like, you're not the thing you're not aware of.
I care if I'm getting dental cleaned in some other dimension, and I'm just like,
if you know about it. But if you don't know about it, how can you possibly?
Actually, one of those dilemmas in philosophy that, like, if you knew, your quote unquote real body was sitting in another reality, how much would you accept the Matrix or the current reality? And that is something that some people are just like, no way, man. Like that, some people will never accept it. That like, it's never gonna be okay that like they're sitting in a chair somewhere, and this experience is being fed to them.
Wait, but the whole point is that you don't know. That's my point.
Well, if I'm in the real world,
yeah,
there's a non-zero chance that's happening.
but there's a non-zero chance for anything. You don't go by what's possible in general. You go by what's plausible and relevant. No? It's like
Me, when I go into the Matrix, I'm gonna be like, it's gonna depend. Can I come back anytime I want to?
but
Like, do I have
this
free pass
see
to go
this
back and
see
forth?
this is why I don't do these.
Yes.
This is why I don't do these hypotheticals. They're pointless, truly pointless. Like they're like it's not. What if fill in the blank? What if I don't know? What if what if a giraffe is driving a bus that you're inside and it's yelling annoying sound? Like who? Like what are you talking about? Like but what if what? Like but it's not what it is. So what do you want? Like it's like we don't live our lives by everything that is possible in general. Like it's not how it goes. You can't disprove it. Yeah, you can disprove many things, most things. So what? It's just like a you saw that interview. I mentioned it for sure quite a few times on the lives before, but I did you actually see it? I think we maybe saw it together. Nico, did you see that one where Keanu Reeves recently, well, maybe a couple of years ago, mentioned how this teenager who never seen The Matrix reacted to the plot of the film? Did you see that one? So basically he was in a situation where
Yeah.
like this teenager who like never saw the film, never heard of it actually, which is kind of wild. And then he was in some social situation and the teenager asked, "What's the Matrix?" And then Neo, and then Keanu Reeves shortly explained. And then the kid looked at him and said, "Wait, so they were trying to get out to the real world?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, why? And then he said, I thought, what a smart kid. It's like, yeah, what is that for? So everything tastes like chicken and you live in some kind of a, it's just like, I think there is this, I personally think that there is this delusional human trait that has to do with imaginary sovereignty that we have to fight for, when in reality, all that matters is the thing you're perceiving in that moment, which I think was actually Buddha's point, which is it doesn't matter how things come about because you can't really have access to that. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to have the best chances of success from the most scientific perspective you can possibly imagine, which means it would be true forever for all situations, everywhere, no matter what, is that you want to be unmovable in such a way that no matter what happens and why, you stay the same. And it is within your power to achieve that state, and that is enlightenment. That is Satori. That is freedom. Because then it doesn't matter if you're in heaven or in hell, you are fine. It makes no difference. And that
But what if you care about objective reality, like objective truth?
that whole concept is a clutter in your brain that is it's not, you don't, what if you care implies so many things. The fact that you care is already your prison. That is your attachment. That would be Buddha's point. Your caring is your attachment. It is the source of your suffering. It's not the external condition. It's the fact that you care. But there's a way to not care, not in a dismissive sense, but in a free sense. Like you can see the gears moving, but you don't become part of them. You can see the emotion. And the funny thing is that you don't even need that much practice to be able to do it a little bit to see that it's very feasible. It's not some kind of a unattainable goal that you have to do through many, many lifetimes. That part is very attainable within one lifetime, probably within a few months. Like if you do, anybody, if they devote a few months to it, they can do it. Like you can feel, literally, like talking about OCD, right? You can feel the pattern or the emotion or the negative, like anger or angst or whatever negative emotion that just makes you feel terrible, and you think, oh my god, I feel that way again. But there's a way you can go about it if you train your attention a little bit, where you just kind of separate yourself from that. So it's not like you don't feel the emotion. Your body feels the emotion, but the thing that you are, which by the way shows you you're not your body and you're not your emotion, is that it's just separate. It's not like it doesn't exist. You see it, but you're not part of it. And that's very liberating. And that can be done within a few months. So if somebody devoted their lives or, or many lives, you can definitely do it. I can totally see how you just keep extrapolating this and you just kind of like, you free yourself. Now, the human drama or drama in general is something we derive a lot of meaning out of. And that part is unfortunate, but it is true. And then it's just your choice. Do you want to keep deriving meaning out of it? Okay, then you will always be the hostage of it. Anything that you give power to as the external thing that can influence you without you having control over it, you're subject to. You're a prisoner of. And it's not, I'm not pretending like I've like freed myself, but I know that it's very possible to do, and it's just a matter of practice. You don't have to care.
And confirm.
Katie keeps wanting to come on. Hold on, I'll just, oh, there you go. Insist to come on here. What up, Katie?
The Discord wouldn't let me do it.
Do you think Discord? You think Discord didn't let you on because you're ugly? Oh man, Guru? Did we put the ugly filter on?
No. Come on YouTube and the link will be right there.
How you doing, Katie? YouTube. What? How are you doing? What do you want to talk about? Nothing. Okay. Well, pleasure to have you on for a second. This is great.
No, you got some uncle. We know the woe. The who? The what?
I think I understand why Discord didn't let you connect. The Discord could feel the level of the level of grin coming through your words. But I appreciate you trying to come on. We're gonna go back to the discussion. Much love.
Well,
What up, Kurt? What up, DJ? Chris? John, per usual.
Dude, in the early days of your streaming, you were letting on some very interesting people, and I remember a few times it was just pure chaos, and you just allowed it. You let more and more chaos.
Oh, you
It
got
was like an entropy machine.
that was sometimes you got to roll with it, man. It was no. Sometimes like there's like it's no like sometimes first of all it wasn't always successful. But sometimes you could feel that it's like controlled chaos. Like, because what I'm listening to is that sometimes people are nervous and they just being silly, or like it's not what it appears in the first words, right? So I'm allowing it because you can always disconnect them. Like, it's not a problem, right? But like you listen, and I don't know if you remember, but we had one discussion that started from like just madness. People just like some lady talking about a hole in her head, and like there's just madness stacked on top of one another. But then all of a sudden there's all these insights that started happening through actually that lady, and I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. Like sometimes you gotta just allow some of the chaos, and then some fun things happen. But yeah, if it's not coherent after a few words, then what's the point? Then it's just boring for everybody. I'm not saying go buy gold. That's a problem. It's expensive. I'm telling you the way you've seen the markings on the ground with your old lady. With your old lady. I just seen a video that told me to look there. That's all I'm saying. I got it. Okay. I don't know how happy she'll be if you call her the old lady. Reflector. What the fuck is reality after all? As a psychonaut, I got to the point that we are avatars to collect experience for raw reality. Yeah. just because we don't have causal relationships. Oh, they don't have causal relationships? I have access to Aya. I can't take it home, but I can partake as the sacrament. Not sure how I would get the laser set up at a church though. You know, we had if you talk to the shaman, if you bring the shaman to a conversation with me, they might be open to do like a little experiment. Because I had a shaman from Central America, and they did it in an Aya ceremony, and everybody had a blast with it. So, what is the Buddhist view of the Gnostic teaching that the demiurge Yaldabaoth, is he Russian? Has created that would track, created this earth as a loosh farm for Yaldabaoth and his servant the Archeons to harvest loosh energy from. What is the okay? That's the same question again. You know, we can ask ChatGPT. I don't think the Buddha would have much to say on this because the Buddha's whole focus was not really metaphysical, but very much here and how to take us from here there. You can summarize the Buddha's teaching very simply. As you know, or you don't, but I'm sure you probably do, the Buddha is a title, right? So there were many Buddhas. He was not the only one. But the Buddha whom we are referring to as the Buddha, that was a real person that we know of for sure. And you can summarize his innovation or contribution. He contributed, of course, a lot in terms of his presence and his beautiful energy that he brought to the world. But if you want to make him stand out and say, okay, what did the Buddha actually innovate? It was one thing that you can really point to, which is he was the first one to point out and insist on that you are your own master. That is what he innovated. He said, it doesn't matter what you believe. It makes no difference whatsoever. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter who you pray to. It doesn't matter how many, prayers you say a day or how many circles you go around a temple. None of this matters. The only thing that matters is your state of being and how much in control you are of it. That's it. So, like, you can build this by practicing, or you can keep pretending like you're doing something, but really you're not going anywhere. That was with the Buddha's innovation. In that regard, the Buddha will not have anything to say, I would imagine, about any other belief system. He would just tell you, sit down, pay attention to your breath, pay attention to your body, practice. That's it. But we can actually ask ChatGPT probably, and I wonder if that's what ChatGPT would say.
Find the middle path.
Find the middle path, exactly. Well, think about it this way. Like, think about it like logically, right? Right now, I know that for some people it's hard to imagine because maybe they're a complete, ragdoll of their own emotions, which is very common, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of the norm for most people. But imagine if I would tell you that it is absolutely achievable, even within 10 days. Go to one Vipassana retreat, prove to yourself that it's real. You can do one 10-day retreat, just one. Set everything aside, do one, see that it's real. It's not a metaphor. It's not some kind of a crazy up there ability. It's not but it is the closest thing to a superpower you can get. Think about it this way. If you get angry, your body gets angry, you don't get angry. If you get sad, your body gets sad, you don't get sad. Imagine that. It's like you have a protective armor from your emotions, and then you can still make like very cogent decisions. Isn't that a superpower? And imagine you can do this on a crazy level if you practice, where no pain really is experienced as pain. It's just kind of like a very strong sensation. And again, this is all achievable. This is not, I'm not talking about like some kind of a magic power. Like, everybody can do this, but you got to practice. So in that regard, all your ideas, no matter what they are a form of prison because they are limiting you in what you can experience in the moment. Because the second you believe an idea, it creates a physiological response that makes you feel a certain way without your ability to control it. And the stronger the story and the stronger you believe in it, the more you're not in control and you're in prison. So believe less, experience more. And that would be what I would imagine the Buddha would say if you ask him a question about any belief system.
Oh, yeah.
Which giraffe is cute? Reading comments. And again, just a reminder, if you guys want to follow on Twitch, it's LaserX83 on Twitch. LaserX83. Woohoo! Carter, how are you, brother? They make it sound rambunctious to try and mask their embarrassment for how they feel, even though they shouldn't be embarrassed, to share to people who are wondering and care. I don't know what this was about, but we read it. Was the Antichrist just a concept of going against Christ like consciousness? It wasn't an actual being entity. Too many variables, too many moving parts. I have no idea. Thanks for chatting with me the other day, brother. Part 7 saying, I've been studying dualism, idealism, pantheism, and pantheism ever since. I'm inclined to lean towards pantheism so far. Pantheism, yes. Turtle is saying, doesn't the Buddha, and it's my pleasure, brother, doesn't the Buddha say that this is samsara or something like that, and you have to give you will to find peace through accepting the present moment fully? And also, most of the stuff that people think the Buddha said, it's not the Buddha said, but Buddhists said about the Buddha. The Buddha said very little about the metaphysical. The Buddha was teaching in practice, and when people had a hard time to understand, he would tell them a story or an allegory or some kind of a whimsical idea that would illustrate the point. But he wasn't talking much about he wasn't making any claims about the supernatural. It doesn't mean that he wasn't connected or knew about it. It just means that he knew it was not helpful for people. If anything, it makes them more lost. So, for example, one example of the kind of things that the Buddha would say, one famous story is that somebody came to the Buddha and said, oh, you're so powerful. My dad passed away. Will you please make sure he gets to heaven? And then the Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, understood that the man is so distraught and in so much pain, and he would never understand if he just answered him. So he said, no problem. Bring me 2 cauldrons or whatever, like 2 containers, one with butter and one with coins, and just bring it to me. And the man was very happy, and he thought the Buddha is about to perform magic and make sure his dad goes to heaven. So he brought him both the things. And then the Buddha threw both of them into the water, and then he shattered them with a stick. And then the butter floated to the top, and then the coins fell to the bottom. And then he said, okay, now just pray to the gods that you believe in to get the coins from the bottom to the top. And then he said, what are you talking about? This is impossible. How they can suspend the laws of physics like that? And he says, exactly. If you live a life of a lot of weight, where you perform a lot of negative things, a lot of negative actions that accumulate weight inside of you, there's nothing no one can do, because that is the state of affairs. Now you just sink to the bottom. And if you live a life of divinity, and if you live a life for other people and you contribute and all of that stuff, which makes you feel light, then after this vessel disappears, you float to the top. It's how it works. It's not under anyone's control. And these kind of stories is how the Buddha would teach. But outside of that, Buddha never said anything about other beings or things like this. What if the laser was never the point of what you experienced? I mean, the laser is a part of it. But also, again, what if many things? We only know what we know. After your doc released, I was wondering if you had any concerns about people capitalizing on it, like marketing, etc., based on your discovery. I mean, anybody can do whatever they want. We have rights for the movie, of course, so we're going to be releasing the movie. You can't stop people from doing what they're going to do, right? And my goal is to put the message out there and because of the amount of effort that went into the film, obviously we want to make at least the money back so the investors are happy, and then make some money just for the efforts that were put into place. But you can't stop. And the thing is that the world we're now entering, the whole point is to try and understand that it's not about competing with one another and use one another. It's more about collaboration and openness, and actually wanting others to be successful and want them to go up. If people just steal without giving any credit, right, that's one thing, because it actually kind of goes against the thing. But if you can benefit from something that somebody else is doing, that's lovely. All you got to do is pay respect for the fact that you are gaining something from somebody else's labor. And as long as everybody are aligned this way, then everything is fine. Release probably in around April. Yeah. Casey, how are you, brother? Okay, just want to remind it. Whoa, hold on. There you go. Ghost just posted something. This is what Gary. This is what the ChatGPT said about what the Buddha would say. Therefore, anyone who seeks total enlightenment should discard not only all conceptions of their own selfhood, of other selves, or of a universal self, but they should also discard all notions of the non-existence of such concepts, or non-existence of such concepts. A disciple should develop a mind which is in no way dependent upon sights, sounds, smells, tastes, sensory sensations, or any mental conceptions. A disciple should develop a mind which does not rely on anything. Therefore, Subhuti, the minds of all disciples should be purified of all thoughts that relate to seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, and discriminating. They should use their minds spontaneously and naturally without being constrained by preconceived notions arising from the senses. This is the Buddha in the Diamond Sutra, not ChatGPT. So this is the Diamond Sutra. I don't know enough. Is the Diamond Sutra something that we know for a fact was Buddha's own words that he wrote? In the meanwhile, let me just remind everybody that if you guys, we're doing a retreat that's going to be happening on February 28th in Costa Rica. It's going to be a lot of fun things there. So if you guys are interested, anybody's interested, make sure you just email me to dangoprox@gmail.com and I'll send you more information. It's DANG. Why did I get stuck? DANGOPROX@gmail.com. Dangoprox@gmail.com for that one. This book is the earliest record of Buddha's teaching that appears in print. Again, do we know that this was written by him? No one can confirm that it's directly from the Buddha, as is the case with all the sutras and texts. I'm pretty sure, but I can be wrong. Hold on. Is there one known text to be verified to be written by the Buddha himself? No. Interesting. There isn't a single text definitively written by the Buddha himself, as Buddhism began as an oral tradition in ancient India, where writing weren't common for religious teachings. Instead, his words were memorized and recited by disciples like Ananda, later compiled into scripture like the Pali Canon, suttas centuries later, which are considered the closest records but are not verbatim transcripts, relying on faithful oral transmission rather than personal authorship. Interesting. I did not know that. That is not even one. I learn something every day. Incredible. Well, that even, that complicates things quite a bit. Thanks for bringing up Rick Rubin and Richard Rod podcast. Have you looked into the Gene Keys? Yeah, I have. We've actually done some fun Gene Keys stuff here on the podcast before. I was list watching earlier of it from other brother Danny Jones show had brother John Vervaeke. John Vervaeke is the best. Correctly, topics was consciousness. Yeah, he's great. I'm so happy he had him on. I'm gonna be going on Danny's show soon, right before the movie comes out. During the yogi soothing caramel bedtime, I will have to get some loose passion flowers to combine with it at night. Peace to all entities and all sentient life on all computational planes of reality. Man, this is beautiful. I'm saving this. Beautiful. Thank you, Mikolos. Saved it. Peace to all beings everywhere, visible and invisible. Right there? That's beautiful. That's a great weight. What do you want to say? Guru, did you want to say something, brother?
Oh no, I burped a little. I hope they didn't.
Oh, no. You're good. The Buddha is right here with us. If you guys want to still contribute to the... So again, if you guys want to know more information about the retreat, then make sure you email me to dangoprox@gmail.com. dangoprox@gmail.com with an X. dangoprox@gmail.com. If you guys want to still donate to the post-production process of the film, deeply appreciated, receive with gratitude. Any donation, you can find the GoFundMe page in the description of the trailer, and the trailer you can find on my channel or just in the description right here under the live as we're streaming right now. Second link on the bottom in the description, or just go to Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts, and search for The Discovery. And the first trailer will come on. It's in the description. If you donate over $1,000, which we recently had another donation like that, which is lovely, you will automatically be placed on a list of people who would see the movie as a world premiere, even though the movie is going to be on probably a large streaming platform. We will absolutely work out a deal so we can actually do a private streaming that's going to be shown to only the selected people as a world premiere. You're going to see the movie before everybody else in the world, and it's going to be with Q&A with us about the making of the film. I think it's really cool, but any donation is received with gratitude, so much appreciated for that. If you guys want to follow me across platforms, it's Danny Goler, DANNYGOLER, all one word, TikTok and Instagram. It's Goler Danny, just swap them on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts. And you can check out my new show on Spotify called 0 to 1 with Danny Goler, From Earthbound Minds to Cosmic Citizens, a show that focuses on the future of humanity. Again, it's 0 to 1 with Danny Goler. And come check out my Substack, which is just Danny Goler. Once again, so I guess Substack is also Danny Goler. I'm going to be releasing my second article there very soon. You come join a membership program on YouTube, which gives you early access to all my content and access to my daily lives on Sundays for members only. Once a week, we do like a live for only members in which we talk about all kinds of fascinating things, including all the stuff that Nico wants to talk about, which is always very fascinating. And grab yourself some merch from the merch store on YouTube because it helps the channel, and you can have a really cool design for the winter. If it's a mug for something warm or a hoodie or whatever it is, go grab yourself one. There's Code of Reality Designs and Human First Design. The Human First, if you're wondering, it's a campaign that denotes the attitude that we should always treat each other as humans first before any political affiliation, religious conviction, or any ideas you might have about the world. Human first. And if you want to know more about the laser and the experiment and everything else, go to codeofreality.com, codeofreality.com, and there's the information about the laser and the experiments and all of that is right there. There we go. I don't know why it's so crazy and big, but there you go, codeofreality.com. And if you want to share your laser experiment or see other people's laser experiment, go to veilbreak.ai, veilbreak.ai. Put it right here. Thank you for Carter and Carmelo for building this thing. Carter, my partner, and Carmelo, our software engineer. No, this is the correct one. Appreciate you guys. It's a really good tool to use. And of course, come join our Discord community of like-minded people sharing these ideas. You can find the links to it in the link tree in the description on TikTok, first link, and the third link from the top on the main YouTube page. If you just click on the link, the links work, so you guys can join Discord officially. I want to acknowledge our incredible moderator, Guru, brother. You're the man. Thank you so much for always being there, no matter what, on YouTube and Discord. Really, really appreciate you, brother. And thank you so much for our guests who always come and share, Nico and Gary, and also the guests who are commenting on the side, John, Chris, Jet Black. Appreciate you guys. Who else was not with us? Oh, kind of charming, but they jumped off. And thank you so much for everybody, you, the audience, for coming, sharing, debating, asking questions. Without you, this channel is really nothing but me talking to myself. Chase is in the house. How are you, brother? How do you read this? Pard RSD. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. And everybody else, Mikodos and Turtle, and who else with us? Let me make sure that I'm not forgetting someone. Key, Terry, of course, Ambient Glass, everybody who came and shared and asked questions. I really appreciate you guys. Sometimes I'm having such a hard time reading these handles, but I really, really appreciate you. If you're an old listener, if you're a new listener, Kurt, thank you so much for doing this, for always tuning in. It's a great honor to have this community grow, and it feels very fulfilling. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Merry Christmas. And with the upcoming new year, it's almost here. It's almost 2026, guys. It's amazing. Much love, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Ciao.
See you, Danny. Ciao.
See you guys.